Okay, hi. My name is Chidera Makatah. So I don't know if you can get the pronunciation. I am from Enugu State, theater artist from University of Calabar, 2015. I am, I don't know. What else? Yeah, I'm an actor. Yeah, basically. You know, this question, it's always like, okay. I think I would say it's been for as long as I can remember, from primary school, from school dramas to competition, to secondary school, then university. I think I actually found out that I wanted to take this serious later in somewhere in my senior secondary school. Yeah, when I started to head my drama club. So that was when I actually found out that, okay, see, I think I love this enough to make it a life career. I don't know if this is going to sound off, but the challenge is that's been here. It's just basically trying to, you know, it's just like when you are in a model of, when you're in a crowd, in a very crowded place, like almost like there's a stampede, and then you're trying to, you know, find your way through. You know, in those kind of situations, it's always very hard, like very, very hard. So the industry is one that is extremely competitive, and there are lots and lots of good actors out there. So the challenge is finding a means to let your light shine differently, you know. So trying to get jobs, basically, considering how expensive living in Lagos is. For an upcomer, it's something that is very hard, but then thank God to family, they always got my back. So that's basically is the challenge, trying to get a job. For an upcomer, it's not been so easy. I think that, well, first of all, there's no new thing. If you ask me, as a girl, there's no new thing. But the reason why it seems like there's an increase is because people are now more aware that they can actually speak up. Why I said it is because the issue of rape has always been in existence. You know, there's this saying that 90% of a girl child has either been raped or an attempted rape. And now the social media has just given people, like women, the power to be able to speak up, which they have not been able to do for a very long time. Yeah, so it's not as if there is anything, it's not as if that anything happening now has not been happening. It has always been like this. It was like, I know in every 10 girls, 7 has been raped, and it's a fact. So whether they talk about it or not, these things are real. I know what I'm saying because I'm a girl and I have friends. I have had an attempted rape before. Do you understand? So there's nothing new happening. So I just feel that if someone comes out to talk about rape is a very sensitive issue. A lot of girls wouldn't want to talk about their experience. I had this experience when I was 15, 16, way back. I just finished my secondary school, 2007. So I was still a child, if you ask me. But I was never able to talk about it till last year. I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell my mom. I didn't tell anybody. Not even my sister that I was very close to. Don't forget the fact that the supposed rapist didn't succeed. still I wasn't able to talk about it because of the effect it had on me, right? So I feel that, you see, this rape thing, it's more serious than anybody that hasn't experienced it would ever understand. Do you understand what I'm saying? I was never vocal about it. And it was somebody very close to a family. Do you understand? So I think that it's not on the rise. It's always been like that. It's just that social media just gave women the power to be able to speak up, which they have never been able to. Now, here are the reasons I wasn't even able to speak up. I already know that, number one, the first question would be, what are you doing there? As little as I was, I knew that was going to be the question, and nobody is ever going to listen to you because the whole blame automatically goes to you. Then nobody wants to know why the rapist did whatever. Then if the whole blame is on you, then why should I tell you about it? Do you understand? And so it's not on the rise. It's just that women are now more aware of how much they can open up. So it's basically that. Are you sure you want me to do that? Yeah. Interesting. Okay, what happened? So I'm just going to go into. I had a friend. I met him just 2 weeks after I met him. He died. A guy, yeah. So, and within that 2 weeks, we became very close. He wasn't my boyfriend, just my age mate I met. Please. So we were quite close in front of each other, and then he lived very close to my younger cousin's school. So anytime I go to pick my sister, he usually comes out of the house and walks me home and all that. So one of those days, I went to pick my sister up, and I was on a bike. So I actually realized that there's something, because their compound is actually very big. It's an open compound. In school there's a way they built professor's lodge, senior staff, and all of that. So the compound looked very deserted, but then I couldn't place it. I picked my sister, came back. I didn't even have a phone then. Came out, didn't see him, I didn't bother. I went home. Then later that day, a friend of mine dropped by, and I was like, babe, what's up now? Why are you so moody? She's like, that she's sad that she lost her friend. I said, which friend? Said, is it Kola? Yeah, Kola, right? That's how you guys pronounce it. I said, which Kola? I said, Professor Kiniko's son. So I described the guy's house, and then and I think for like 1 month or more, I was never myself. I think that if there's any death that got to me, that was my very first time of understanding what death actually. So fast forward to, I had to go pay condolence visit, like he's my friend, and I already met his cousin that lived with them, so I was already familiar with him. So I went with my friend. Then I had a training center very close to their house as well, computer training center. So long story cut short, so I started feeling like I was their friend. Then he had another brother. The other brother is my friend, my brother's classmate in school. So I think that was my third time. Do you know, I was so naive and innocent, right? I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to go to the BQ where the guys are, right? But because I felt that kind of closure with the guy and then the cousin, and to me I felt like I was coming to be with them at that time. So one of those days I went there, I was coming back from school, and then I was tired. I said, let me lie down and rest. And you know how it goes, comes to touch you, and I to me, I felt like he was just, leave me, no more. I'm like this. And the story is very long, but the thing is, at the tail end, I saw myself fighting. And the funny thing that happened was, he increased the volume of the music. The BQ is a little bit far from the main building, so even if I screamed, nobody would hear. The music was really loud, the building, and that was like during work hour. I think I finished my class early that day around 12, so, you know. But then, oh my God! So the funny thing, I didn't believe it was going to happen. Like I that it never came to my mind that stuff like that happen. Do you understand? So I saw myself on the floor. I saw, you know how in secondary school you're like, no, one person cannot rape me, one person can. I dare a toddler can rape you. I swear. Like, you see, a 10-year-old boy that wants to rape you and say, see this girl, I'm going to rape her, he will rape you. It was at that point I realized the difference between the strength of a woman, that's physical strength, and that of a guy. Like, I screamed so loud that I couldn't scream anymore, like, you know how. But something happened. There was a story I heard before. I tried to enact that story of one of our secondary school classmates then that had an attempted rape, and then she shared the story with us in the class. So I tried to use, she said she started breaking things, you know, so for the guy to know that she broke the TV, but she just started, but I couldn't even reach the TV. I was already, but anyway, to cut the long story short, there was a question that he asked me, which I'm not going to say, but he asked me that question while I was still on the bed, and I answered him absent-mindedly, thinking that my answer was the safe answer to give, right? Then when he was about to, like, when I actually knew that, okay, this shit is about to get real, was my skirt had already torn, and I saw his whatever, right? And so I had to go back to that question that he asked me. So I had to re-answer that question. And he was like, why did I lie? I said, I don't know. That was what I heard I should answer when I'm asked. So that was how he was like, okay. But he wasn't going to do it after all. Just, you know, so I feel like, you know, oh my God. So when he left me, I couldn't even stand up. I couldn't stand up. I couldn't do anything. I think I was on the floor for like more than 30 minutes crying before I was able to stand up. My skirt had torn, you know, so there was no means of, you know, I couldn't call anybody to come get me. I didn't have a phone and all of that. So I walked home, and as I was walking home, I was just praying I don't meet anybody at home, because I won't be able to explain what happened to me. I was like a ghost of myself as I was walking. Like, I was just, but then why am I laughing? I don't know, seriously, I don't know. I don't know. That's the answer. I don't know.